all messages real quick. All right. We're going to get the email address up there. Boom. There's the email address. Let's move that up there. What is up, Lionel? What is up, brother? How you doing, man? Welcome into the show, everybody. I decided to sit with my sword today instead of my axe. So how's everyone doing? Tonight we're going to be talking about taking care of, welcome in, Lionel. But tonight we're going to be talking about why it's important to have family pets. What's the benefits, and things like that. And why is it important to adopt an animal? If you're choosing to have an animal for the first time, why is it important to adopt them? And what animal might be best especially for a family, even down to bachelors. So we're going to cover a wide variety of topics today. But it's mainly going to be revolving around pets. So I hope you guys will enjoy this. It's something I'm rather passionate about. So welcome on into the show, everyone, and have a good old seat and have a good old time. Welcome into the chat. What's up, sweet country? How you doing? We got Lionel in here. He's been pretty talkative. So yeah, welcome into the show, everyone. I'll move y'all up here right in front of me so I look y'all in the eyeballs, as they would say. If my dadgum stand would stay straight. He's trying to kick off to the side on me. So yeah, welcome in, everybody. George. Okay. Nothing much there, sweet country. Just sitting here chilling. I chose to have Jotun's Bane here instead of Troll's Bane today, which Jotun's Bane's my sword, which I might just remove it from the scabbard and just hold the sword itself. Welcome in, Dragon Magic. Hello, hello. We're giving it just a little, wow, we already got 26 people in here. Okay, so like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Tonight we're going to be talking about why it's important to have family pets and why it's important to adopt those pets, especially if it's your first pet. So let's go on ahead and get started then, shall we, since we've got an actual large crowd. Welcome in, Steph. Thank you. But anyhow, man, let's get this going. So how this works out is that, what's up, Mecca Channel TV, how? But anyhow, guys, so let's get this topic started. Now, when it comes down to, having a family pet, why is it important? Well, first off, it's one of the first connections your kids will ever build, especially if it's a good dog, or a sweet cat, something that actually builds a bond. Get something like that, something that builds a tight family knit bond. And this animal will actually hi there, Braylon. Thank you for coming in. What's up, Raymond? But this animal will actually take, hey, Jen, this animal will actually take and become your good friend. And when you have a kid, that animal will turn around and he'll show so much love and affection to that kid, it's not even funny. I know this because my dad had a German Shepherd whenever I was born. And that dog was all over me as a kid. He was protective. He would make sure that I was taken care of and safe. He was a wonderful dog named Duke. And Duke ended up dying defending me, actually, as a little infant. He died due to a rattlesnake defending me. I tried to pick up the snake. But anyhow, so as it goes along, these animals build incredible bonds that are lifelong extensions of these animals. You know, they literally love whoever they're bonded to. And when there's a child involved in this matter, that child is protected. He's guarded. You know, there's somebody that loves him. There's somebody that protects him no matter what. He's got a best friend. You know, and that's a great feeling to have, actually. You know, welcome in, Lionel. Thank you, Lionel. Thank you so much. But anyway, we have situations where, you know, you have people that, you know, want to go on ahead and go buy a purebred animal, which is okay. But what I suggest, guys, is go to your local animal shelter and adopt an animal. You know, and the reason why I say this is because these animals have already been treated badly once before, and they are dying for love. So the best way to help that animal is to give it that love. You know, the reason why I've thought about this topic is because there was an abused animal from down the road that somebody dumped off. She chose our house to shelter underneath. Well, she climbed up into my room one day, and it's because I stepped in a bad spot on my floor and I fell through it. What's up, Brandon? You know, but I ended up, you know, adopting a dog named Starlight. She's rather old, and she's been abused, and she was malnourished when I found her. But she's a beautiful animal, and I've been taking great care of her, and she's such a sweetheart. And she's become a part of the family already. And that's what brought this topic up tonight. Because, guys, I've spent my entire life with animals. You know, and I've always known that if worst case scenario came down, my Shuck and my Starlight are by my side no matter what. So, guys, that's why I say a family pet, one that's beloved by the entire family, one that is cherished by everyone in the group, you know, that has, you know, really been there, you know, through thick and thin with you guys. That animal is family. That animal is more than blood, guys, because it's so bound to you and so dependent on you, man, that it loves you unconditionally. So that's why a pet is really important into a family unit, you know, and it doesn't matter if it's a cat or if it's a dog or if it's a rat. I've even seen somebody who has raccoons, you know. I know a guy who has ostriches, but it teaches kids responsibility too, you know, that you get them involved early in learning how to take care of a pet. Then it ends up teaching them how to be more responsible when they grow older. You know, and if you were raised on a farm like I was, with cattle and with chickens, and, you know, 'cause I had a dozen chickens, you know, that I took care of, while my grandfather had 300 head of cattle between him and my uncles. And, you know, that's what we took care of as children. You know, that's what I did as a child. You know, I helped with those scenarios. And then I also helped with the Texas Parks and Wildlife doing animal relocation. Now, abuse to animals is a terrible, terrible thing. That's why if you ever know an animal that's being abused, make sure you either find a way to get that animal into a safe place, or you call the proper authorities. You know, in this case, I just claimed the dog and told the owner, do something about it. You didn't want it. You know, and they let me alone. They didn't call the cops or nothing. So now Starlight is mine. And it's a great, great feeling to be able to give an animal a new home and a new start, and to see that light come back to their eyes whenever they had those dead looks of just pain and suffering. You know, it's such a great feeling to be able to bring that light back to their eyes and to see the love that they end up giving into your life. And for your children, that's an important thing to see. They need to be able to see that unconditional love. They need to be able to feel that connection, you know, with something other than a teddy bear or a tablet. You know, guys, a living dog or a cat, you know, a family pet. You know, I've even seen people who have settled for reptiles, you know, because they just didn't have the time to feed it all the time. So since they couldn't care for a dog or a cat the way it needed to be fed, you know, they decided to go with something like a lizard or a turtle. You know, I've seen people who have family tortoises, you know. It's kind of cool. They got a 500-pound turtle. But, you know, that's the whole thing. You know, it doesn't matter the pet. You know, it's the simple fact of the connection that's made. And the lessons that are learned, guys, because kids that there's even benefits to the health. It's been proven. I can't give you the proper statistics, but I do know it's been proven that kids who have pets in their life have less allergies to worry about when they get older. They don't suffer from allergic reactions to things such as outside dander or anything as much. Not only that, their immune systems are strong because they're introduced to outside stuff on the animal. And especially if the animal's an inside-outside dog, or if it's a straight outside dog, you're really exposing that kid to a bunch of stuff. But that's not a bad thing. That means you're building up their immune systems. You're making sure that when a super virus comes out, like the COVID-19 when it hit, they're going to end up like me when I caught it and have it for 3 days maximum, and it goes, and it's out my system, and I'm completely okay. And I do attribute a lot of that to the fact that I fell asleep with Duke a lot whenever I was a small child. I would play with him on the floor. When it was time to nap, I'd just lay my head on his stomach and go to bed. And the dog would just lay there and take it. Big old German Shepherd just loved it. Ate it up. And these memories from all these animals that I've had growing up, that my family has had, because we've had little dogs, we've had big dogs, and big dogs don't live as long as little dogs, but we've had more big dogs than little dogs. So, our dogs lasted for about 10 to 12 years, and then they would pass on. But by the time they would start getting super old, we'd get puppies, about the time when they would just want to be like Starlight's age, just want to lay around and chill. And that was when we would get a puppy, and we would raise it up the way we would want. And okay, let's try not to spam there, Lionel. But anyway, so these memories were great. They were things that I loved to have growing up. And memories that these kids make with these animals, would be an amazing thing. And for an animal that has known only pain and suffering to finally get a loving home with kids that they can play with that love them unconditionally, just the same as much as that dog loves them, then that animal, that dog or that cat, or even that turtle, they end up having memories that shine inside their primitive little minds. Especially a dog or a cat. Whenever they build that connection, it's there forever. It doesn't matter what that kid does. It doesn't matter how long that kid is gone. That dog's going to know you. The second it sees you, it's going to know who you are. So, guys, you've got to remember that when it comes down to building memories, when it comes down to building core memories and having good, happy events in your life, sometimes that's easily filled with a pet. The right pet for a family. Now, what I'm getting down to is with the right pet is it depends on your family, the family's needs, and, of course, the pet's needs. So, people who can't really provide a lot of attention to an animal and have kids that are a little too rowdy or something like that might want something that would spend most of its time in a terrarium or a tank. So that would be something like a really cool tarantula, or like what I like to do is set up a black light and have live scorpions. Because, guys, they glow under a black light and it's so cool. So you set up a really freaky looking psychedelic background and everything like that, and you got glow in the dark scorpions just climbing all over it. It's just awesome. It's your own little trippy heaven, But what's up there, Dr. Daddy? Welcome in. But that's why, maybe you having something like an invertebrate where it doesn't have to be fed as often. You can feed it once a week, and it'd be perfectly fine. Or you can have a big enough tank like what I used to do. This is what I used to do. Whatever tank size I needed, I tripled it. And the reason why was because I would give live prey. I had a tarantula named Lady Beck. She only needed a 5-gallon tank. I got a 25-gallon tank. And that way I could release her crickets into the tank, and she actually had to hunt them down. And it was so fun watching her do it. And it kept her good and healthy and active instead of her just sitting in a hole all the time. And she lived for about 3 years longer than what she was supposed to, and then she died. But I've had a lot of pets in my life. And some of the greatest parts about having pets is the simple fact of choosing to adopt them. And I adopted Ladybug. And she was a spider that was just cramped into a little 2-gallon little tank. And I took her in and gave her a 25-gallon tank and had it looking entirely like a forest floor. So it looked completely like what her habitat would look like, complete with logs and everything like that standing up. So she would have somewhere to crawl into and hide in various different locations. And it even had its own little waterfall in the background and everything like that. Man, I spent like almost $1,000 on this tank, you know, but we made it look all beautiful. And that was all just for a spider, guys. So you can imagine what I do for dogs or a cat. You know, I love to make sure that my animals are pampered, you know, and if I can take an animal that's never been loved in its life, that's never been treated properly a day in its existence, and give it just 1 year of happiness, I'll do it. I'll do it gladly. And guys, it's because I love animals. My first connections was with animals. It wasn't with people. And I still have some issues connecting with people. I'm not even going to lie. You know, but that's why I like YouTube. Because I can just sit here and talk, and I'm looking at myself, and I know what I look like, so I feel like I'm talking to myself, which I do already anyway. So, oh, in case you guys didn't know, I'm a schizophrenic, so I'm a little crazy. And it's almost time for my medication, so it's wearing off a little bit. So my kooky side is coming out, you know, and I enjoy this side of me, so I hope you guys are too. But anyhow, so the great thing about adopting a pet, especially when it turns out to be a dog, all right, I'm more of a dog person than a cat person, if you can't tell, because I'm an exotic cat person, not just a regular house cat person. But anyway, so let's say that you end up adopting a pit bull. And let's say that this poor pit bull was a bait dog. And it's never felt love a day in its life. But it's sweet. Like, it's skittish, but it's sweet. It's not going to bite you or hurt you. It's scared. You take that dog home, and you show it love and affection, and you take time, let the animal build respect and love for you. Oh, good Lord, did you ever just make a family member? I'm telling you, that dog is going to love you way more than a puppy you brought up. I'm not even going to lie. You know, I've seen puppies that people raised up to be black labs that if somebody broke into that house, that lab's like, you're on your own, bro. I'm laying here. He's been chewing on my bone, man. I don't care that he's in here. But I've seen somebody who adopts a little freaking Dachshund, just adopted an old Dachshund, and somebody break into their house, and that little sucker just go bat crazy on that daggum robber and distract him long enough for her to get a shot off at him. You know, I mean, it depends on the animal. But I've noticed that adopted animals tend to be a lot more protective and tend to be a lot more affectionate than dogs that you tend to just raise. Now, that's not saying dogs that you raise are a bad thing, because I love my Shuck, and I've raised him since the day he was born, literally. So that's a great thing. So I love my Shuck, but at the same time, I love my Starlight. Even though I haven't owned her for very long, she's still a sweet new addition to my family. You know, it's a wonderful thing and a wonderful feeling to have her here. And I'm very, very happy that I got to adopt her, because that just means that I'm giving her a life that she never expected to be able to have. When she came here, she literally was on the verge of death, you know, guys. And we're already nursing her back to health, you know. And she's a beautiful animal. She really is. She just don't like coming into the bedroom. Hello, George. Whoa. JJ's doing fine, George. The only thing is, he don't like being on camera. And no, I'm not a crackhead. But yeah, George, he doesn't want to be on camera, man. And I'm at my dad's because I had to move. But anyway, this is my bedroom in my dad's house. I'm renting it. But I'm repairing my RV. Braylon, cool, welcome back, man. And Dinosaur Rar, nice. I'm not that old, dude. I'm 38. And no, I'm not gay. What's up, Braylon? No problem, man. But anyway, so yeah, raising an animal and growing up with them is one of the biggest things that, we're working through it, George. But one of the biggest things that you could ever do is take care of an animal like that and show it love. Because that bond is just, it's hard to explain, and I'm trying to find a way to, and I keep circling back around, and I'm unfortunately trying to figure out exactly how to explain this. But it's, that's a very hard feeling to describe, but I'm telling you right now, it's a good feeling. Whenever you're accepted to the point where that animal runs with you, that animal hunts with you, that animal wants to be by your side no matter what. And that's my Shuck. When I get home, all my Starlight wants to do is make sure I'm comfortable and happy. She'll walk over there, she'll lay at my feet, she'll sit there and she'll stand up, let me pet her for a little bit, and she'll lay back at my feet. And she's just awesome. I love my Starlight, just like I love my Shuck. Having family pets and growing up with those bonds, knowing that even if I'm super lonely, and I know exactly how much it takes to take care of a dog, or exactly how much it takes to take care of a cat. If it's in my budget, I can get an animal, and I at least got a companion. And it's because I grew up with the understanding of how to take care of something like that, because we had family pets. And that's the beauty of family pets. What's up, Prime? What if my dog was if your dog was 100 years old, he wouldn't be able to move. But anyhow, it's a wonderful thing to know that no matter what, I always got a friend. And that they've got my back. My Shuck is a guard dog. I know he looks sweet and cuddly on camera because he's with Daddy. But whenever it comes down to, he don't know you, he's gonna try to eat you alive before I get to you. And that's the problem. But, oh, I'm doing good, Prime. I'm just sitting here chit-chatting about why it's important to, have a family pet, which I got through the importance of it. But now it's time to get down to what pet matches you most. Now, if you want something that you don't have to care for, you don't have to give a lot of attention to, I already mentioned that you could get a terrarium with a tarantula, the scorpions. Some people even go for snakes. Some people go for lizards. Like I said, turtles. The reptiles are a good option. Another one is cats. Cats don't need a lot provided for them after a certain point. All they need is just the bowl full and the water full. And they're good. And if you get a gravity feeder and a gravity water system, you're good for a while. And you don't even really got to worry about them. They take care of themselves. They clean themselves. You just got to worry about the litter box. And when they occasionally want to give you attention, which for some unfortunate reason always involves them sticking their butt in your face. But that's cats for you. I'm not going to eat a cookie. But what you mean, Prime? As long as your body is healthy and you have 1,000 problems, as soon as your body gets sick, you only have one problem. Stay healthy, my friend. I got you, BH. Thank you. But anyway, welcome into the show to everybody who's new. I just don't want a cookie, dude. I'm not hungry. But welcome into the show to everybody who's new. And it's awesome to have everybody here. Oh, George was saying some cruel things. George, what's going on, man? We're actually going to go on ahead and I'm not going to end the show yet, but I'm going to go on ahead and end the main discussion so we can get to the hangout period. Seems like there's some stuff going on in my chat, and I need to figure out what's happening. Well, then go on ahead and give it to me there, dinosaur. Maybe I'm hacked. Okay. Prime, what's the warning there? Is that... Oh, boy, man, I'm confused. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, no, George, he didn't bounce on me and my sister. He was just... It was my mom that bounced on him. I'm not a crackhead, little baby. Whatever you say, dinosaur rar. We rode in Tennessee tonight after we ate supper. Oh, okay. I got you. But yeah, it was my mom that ran out on my dad. So that was how that happened. There you go, Sharky. I didn't realize Sharky was in here. What's up, brother? What's up, man? My dog just passed. Oh, your dog just passed away. I'm sorry to hear about that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Sharky. Thank you, Prime. And, of course, thank you, Jen. Oh, Sharky Cutie. Uh-oh. But, yeah, now we're at the hangout portion of the show. Welcome on in. I'm sitting here with Jotun's Bane. So, guys, come say hi. We had an awesome show going there for a minute. What happened to everybody? Everybody kind of just disappeared on me. Braylon! No problem. Sorry, George, I don't trust you. Oh, okay. Prime, you got to be careful about who you time out, man. Ask me first. All right? Don't just time people out. Thank you. You're all good. I'm doing pretty good there, Sharky. I'm just chilling. I got my buddy JJ in the living room. He didn't want to be on camera. I asked. But he don't like to be on the internet. He's another one of them people. Oh, he was listening and playing your game. Gotcha, Sharky. What? Jen, why are you crying? No, this one I didn't make. I made the blade alone. I didn't make all of it. The other parts I ordered. But I only made the blade. It's my training sword. It's just mono steel. It's not Damascus. But this is what I train with. Yep, this is Jotun's Bane. This is my heaviest weapon that I own. Is this one right here. Oh, you were talking about your mama and you got sad. I got you. But thank you, man, for still agreeing that you liked it. But no, I had to order some parts. I've got to do some repairs because, like, sliding it in and out of the holster has started to wear down the leather that's on it. This leather's been on here for over 15 years, so it's time to replace it. So I'm gonna have to replace the leather on it and everything like that. But that's all I'm doing. You know, I'm just gonna peel the leather away, give it another good sanding, and then put some more leather back on it and fix the scabbard up. What if somebody raids our stream? Then we kick them out. People start raiding our stream, we get them out. So about the breakup, what happened? You didn't. You don't have to say. Oh, it was a mutual breakup. when me and Jin Jin decided to break up, or whenever I decided to break up with Jin Jin, honestly, it was because really there was just the connection we had between each other. The futures that we wanted were different from each other. Our interests were different from each other. Everything just did not correlate. You know, the only thing that correlated was the fact that we were attracted to each other. And when I started telling her that, look, the love we have for each other is real, but the future we have, I can't provide for you, you know, and I can't give you what you want. You want a different future than what I want. So it was just, we were going down different paths. So we chose to break up. Yeah. Yeah, we're all still friends. Yeah, as family was also an issue involved. But guys, my dad and my stepmom are back home. They're going to get mad at me for doing the show for this long. So I'll check you guys later. Love you guys. Remember, you are the backbone of YouTube. Absolute legends, guys. Thank you all for showing up. We'll catch you here next time. See you from a swamp, later from a gator. Love your mama, love your papa, love yourself. Be kind and always find a way to help, guys. Check you all here next time. Same place, same time. Not tomorrow, but the day after. So see you then, guys.